Flosstube, Ashley here, Buggy Stitcher on YouTube, Schleesem_Buggy Stitcher on Instagram, coming to you guys with a Wip Parade. So I plan on doing this probably twice a year, one either at the end or very beginning of the year, and one in the middle around July sometime. So it is time to go ahead and recap all of 2021. Whoa! So this is the year that I hardcore got into stamped kits. I got my mom into cross stitching and she wanted to do stamped kits and I was like, no, you know, that's not for me. And then I saw hers and started watching her do hers and I got super excited. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try one. And then I tried one and one quickly multiplied into many. So this is going to be a fairly long video. I'm going to try and go kind of fast. I'm not going to go over, you know, exactly all of the details of each whip. I will do the best I can very quickly, but I'm not going to be doing like when I purchased it, when I started it, stuff like that. So I will be going through some of the information right now. And it's not in any particular order, it's just as I grab them. I figured it'd be easier for me to do it like that since I have like 50 whips. So it's gonna be, like I said, a long video. So let's go ahead and get started and see how much I can do before my son wakes up from a nap. So here we go. So one of my most recent starts is a Mill Hill kit. This is my very first Mill Hill kit. I got this from my husband for Christmas. I'm going to do my best to show you guys the pictures of all of the projects. I'm going to attempt not to edit this video because they end up being too long. So I am going to try and show you guys as many pictures as I can without actually showing you guys truly. I mean, so some of the pictures that I have are going to be a little bit blurry. I will try and edit in some of them if I can, but like I said, it's going to be a really long video, and I'm so sorry if I'm going a little fast, but this is just how we have to do it. So, Mill Hill kit, I call this my flower shop. This is called Main Street Flower Shop by Mill Hill. Everything is backwards. It's in selfie mode. It's easier for me to film that way, and sorry for the glare. But I just recently started this, so I haven't gotten very far. I did decide to, since I've never tried a Mill Hill kit before, I decided to go ahead and keep it on the perforated paper. I did notice that my threads were catching on the edge though, so I took some acid-free tape and folded it over the sharp edges. So that's why what this like white border is. But that's basically what I have so far. Not very much, but a pretty good amount considering I just got this Christmas and I've been working on all of the other things as well. So there we go. And here's the colors for it. And the beads are really pretty too. Let's see, there we go. Very beautiful. So again, I've never done beading on cross stitching. I have never done perforated paper. I have never done a Mill Hill kit at all. So all of this is quite very new. All right, let's see if I can get this back in the package. Oh no. That's okay. And all the cloth bags that I have were made by me. And then my husband also recently got me the like A4 or A5, A4, something bags that I started migrating all my stuff to. So I guess I'll just go ahead and start. I have to finish organizing all my stuff too after I do this Wip Parade. And I will leave the 2022 plans for the end of the video as well. So, okay, one of my most recent starts as well, I am calling my wizard. He's like a goblin on VIP cross stitch. This was a collaboration that I recently just got, and I just introduced this one the other day, and I'm already done with his hat, and I've started on Archimedes. No, not Archimedes. Archimedes. Archimedes is the owl's name from the Sorcerer's Stone, from the Disney movie, The Sorcerer's Stone. Thank you to my husband who reminded me of the name. So, good job. Alright, so here, I'll go ahead and take out of the frame really fast. I have most of the things out of the frames already to try and make this video go a little fast, but this is one that I'm working on regularly right now. So I, of course, have it in the frame. I'll try and hurry. Again, it's going to be a long video, and my son's taking a nap. And I don't want to, you know, misalign the stars, so to speak. Okay, here's the full thing. So this is a stamped kit, 11 count, using 3 strands. I just recently started this weekend, so only a couple days in, and it is my one and only project that I have going that is not full coverage. So minus the mail kit, I guess. I guess that one's not full coverage, but look how cute the hat is. Oh, and you can see the owl. Oh, I just love him. Archimedes is going to be his name. He is adorable. I haven't given the wizard a name yet, so if you have any ideas for what the wizard's name should be, let me know in the comments down below. I am happy to name him and will pick whichever one I like the best. But yeah, he's super cute. Super cute. And I will just go ahead and turn around and set this on the bed because I need to put this back in the frame and continue stitching it. Because again, he is one of my mains. Perfect. Perfect shot. Okay, next up we have my Betta Lion. So if you watched my most recent video, I just recently worked on this a tad bit because I'd only put in like 100 stitches in it maybe. I haven't done anything since that video a couple weeks ago, but this is it. That's all I've gotten done. I got this from AliExpress. This is the full thing. It is a 30 by 40, 11 count. It will be beautiful once I get started, and honestly I probably should have gotten this in a silk, but I didn't. You know, it is what it is, but there we go. Haven't done too much on this one. Alright, set that in a pile. Let's get the next one. What's next? Ooh, speaking of lions, this is my very first lion that I got, and also my I think one of my very first stamped kits. So this is a 50 by 70 lion from the same shop on AliExpress. Cross Stitch Kits store is what's called. 216 stitches by 300 stitches, and this one is in silk. It's my one and only silk that I have. I have worked on this somewhat recently, so I did a big push to get this leaf done. You can't see all that see-through without the light, but because the light is shining on it, it looks like it's like see-through, but it's because the silk is very shiny, so with the light on it, it shows a lot. But so big. So my motto is go big or go home, but I'm starting to learn that that's not the case. Go medium or go home because this is huge, and all of the blue that you see is $9.39, which is one of my least favorite colors to stitch. But it will be beautiful when it's done. Right now it's definitely not a focus piece. I bring it out every once in a while, but that's about it. And I'm pretty sure it's actually like a female lioness. I don't think it's a male lion. I don't see a mane in the picture. And that picture is right there. Like I said, sorry, I'm going to be just showing all the pictures that came with the kits and everything, and it'll just make it easier for me. Okay, there's that one. I don't even know if I should consider this a whip. So this is Elsa and Anna kit that I got from Tapestry Market for my daughter. She picked it out. She picked out a huge one, 50 by 70, and it's just too big for being cartoons. Cartoons I'm not really interested in, actually. Yeah, I just recently put a couple of stitches in it, and you can barely even tell. I just did a little bit of Anna's hair right here and right here, and that's it. And this thing is so big. So what I've thought about doing is at the very top there's like a heart. Do you see right here in the middle? Oh, and here's the pattern. Sorry, that's the pattern picture. So I've thought about basically just cutting that out and starting the pattern from right here, basically now pretend it's even, so that way it's just Elsa and Anna in an embrace. That would make it significantly smaller, but still, I have so many others that I'm just like, I really don't want to work on this at all. So it's been retired for a while. I wouldn't say forever, but definitely for a while, which I know I need to change because my daughter's only getting older and she's gonna outgrow Elsa and Anna soon, I'm sure. But yeah, life's too short, right? No, I should start working on it for her, but she has since picked some other projects as well. All right, next up we have another design. This is a limited edition Magic City. I can't remember the artist's name. Anyway, this one is stitched on 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch. It is fairly large. I haven't put stitches in it. I haven't put too many stitches in it this year. I mean, I've definitely got it in a ton, but I mean, this being the size, this is nothing. I'm only on the second page. I'm almost done with the second page, but I'm only on the second page. So definitely not a ton, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Like I said, I get it out sometimes, but it's just so big. So big. Then I have noticed that some of my hates have suffered since I was introduced to stamp kits. Thanks, Mom. It's your fault. Because stamp kits are just so much easier to work on when you got the kids. So, and a family. Alright, so this is my Sea Goddess. I don't think this came with a cover picture. This came from Tapestry Market. It is an 11 count stamped kit. Yeah, it doesn't have a preview. It's this one. That doesn't show much. But if you guys have been with me for a while, this was actually put on a huge timeout. I had started working on this and I was so excited. The second I got it, I worked on it. And I worked really hard on getting her face done. And when I saw her face, I realized that, oh no, it doesn't have enough detail for what I wanted it to have. So I'll go ahead and show you how far I've gotten. This is also, I think this one's a 40 by 50. Yeah, this is a 40 by 50. So all of the stitching that I've done is basically right here. I've gotten some of the dark right here, and here's her face. Now, one thing I've learned since I put her on a timeout, and that is with stamped kits, you don't want to look at them from here. Now right here is about a foot away. You actually want to look at stamped kits back here. So significantly further. I mean, even further than that, honestly, it makes stamp kits, because they're so pixelated with 11 count, the further back you are, the better they look. So my problem when I put this on a timeout is I was looking at it from this perspective. Okay, so I'm looking at it like this, and this is way too close for a stamped kit. Okay, so then I started looking at it from back here. Still too close. This is still too close. Okay, so for stamped kits, a good trick that I've learned for the secret present, which I will reveal later in this video, is that you, if you take your phone and you go to take a picture of it and you zoom out all the way on your phone and take a picture, that is what your kit looks like. That is what your kit or your counted or whatever you're working on will look like on the wall. That's like a good perspective on what something actually looks like without actually getting up, trying to like lay it against something and stand back. So if you need to know what something looks like, take a photo of it fully zoomed out, and then you will know, because this looks awful, and that's what it looks like to me when I look at it nose to nose. But this looks really good. So I have decided that I'm taking her out of a timeout, and I will give her another chance, try and do some of the darker colors and fill some more of that like around her face. and the darker colors of the sea around her and see if that helps, because I really do love this kit. I mean, it's got all my favorite colors, the blues, the purples, it's beautiful. But I couldn't get past the lack of detail in the face. But this was one of my very first stamped kits, so that's where we're at. So she has been taken out of a timeout. I haven't stitched on her yet, but I plan to at least get a couple hundred stitches on her, at least by the end of the year. Also, I don't make crazy goals for myself when it comes to planning, because if I do, they just get broken. So I'll explain that a little bit more in like my what's coming in 2022 at the end of the video. But yeah, I don't give myself, I do very small goals, but nothing like I have to stitch this much on this piece, because the second I say that, I'm not gonna do it. So okay. Next up, we have my camping piece. So this is also from Tapestry Market, the stamped kit. It is 11 count, and I think this one is a 40 by 50 as well. Let me look at the, nope, this is a 30 by 40. So this piece, I always take with me when I go camping. So as you can see, like some of the water drops on the water soluble paper. So you're not gonna be able to see the picture very well because, you know, it's gotten some drops on it, but this is what it will look like. And it will, again, be beautiful. And I think I should have gone silk with this also, but again, I didn't know at the time that I liked silk, but I do. Either way, it will still be beautiful. Sorry, there's a needle. It'll be beautiful when I get a little bit more done. I haven't gotten as much as I want, but I also didn't get to go camping as much as I want the last couple of years because of COVID. So, but here's where we're at. So I just got into kind of the flowers. I haven't done a bird yet. I think I'm close to a bird, but I haven't done a bird yet. So there we go. I've done this much so far right here. Not too bad, but I definitely would like to get a little bit, let's just put like a little disclaimer. I would like to get everything worked on at least once throughout the year. So I might say right now that I want to, you know, work on this more, but that just goes for everything. I want to work on everything a little bit more. Again, that was from Tapestry Market. All right, next up is a pattern made by me. I'm using Pick to Pat. And this is on 18 count Ada that I purchased from AliExpress, which actually ended up being a 19 count, which kind of threw off my stitching a little bit. So it's not quite as enjoyable as I thought it normally would be with an 18 count doing 10 stitch, but it's still pretty fun. I kind of put this one on a break because I'm not a big fan of the browns and yellows and oranges, but this picture is just so beautiful with the phoenix that I just can't give it up. So here is where we're at, and you can see I tried to use this fabric for a stitching shelf, which I still have all the leftover threads, which is funny, but here is our phoenix. This is a fan favorite, and I've gotten almost one full page. I think one full page is right here. The pages are a little bit different because they were made by me and not by Heaven Earth Designs. But again, this is 18 count Ada, stitched with 3 strands, 10 stitch, and I'm stitching cross country kind of this way because I want to get to the phoenix's nose. So good start. I will definitely continue working on it, but it's kind of, I got a little tired of it right now, so it's just kind of sitting, hanging out. All right, a couple more in this bin here. Lord of the Rings map by TILTON Crafts. So this one. All right, there's some story to this guy. So This was my very first purchase of fabric that wasn't at a big box store. I purchased this 28 count. Yeah, it is Zweigart. Zweigart Lugana. And it was an easy guide or a magic guide. It had the grids on it. I didn't like the grids. It's too hard for me to follow because I grid my own fabric and I grid directly down the hole. Whereas when you buy that type of fabric that's already gridded for you, it's like the entire thread of fabric that is the line and not over the hole. So I had a really hard time following what my rule was. Is the very last stitch, the 10th stitch underneath the line or above the line, because it wasn't at the hole. So what I did is I ended up espresso or coffee staining this piece of fabric. And this piece is huge. Lengthwise, it's 990 some odd stitches, 980, 990. So this is by far the biggest pattern that I have. So that being said, I didn't like the fabric. I don't like this type of 18 count either. The feel of it is kind of weird to say, but it's too soft. It's too soft to stitch on. So I actually haven't stitched on this at all this year. I'll show it anyway, but I haven't stitched on it at all. I did that 18 count Ada that I have the Phoenix on. I purchased bulk of that to transfer the Lord of the Rings over from this to that. I'm still debating on if I want to stitch on it or not that way. I'm still debating. So this has been just in a timeout while I decide, am I going to continue trying to stitch it on the 28 count or am I going to try and stitch it on the 18 count Ada that's actually 19 count? So still debating. This is 2 over 1/10 on 28 count. Zweigart Lugana. Magic guide, I guess. It is looking pretty good. I have also thought about just like keeping this fabric stained and then just doing all of the black work on it. So that way you can kind of see the map and everything, but then it has the natural marbling of the fabric. So I've thought about doing that as well, so it's less stitching, and then I think I would be okay doing the 28 count. But like I said, I'm just not quite sure. I'm still debating it. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, I think there's one more in this bin, and then we'll change bins. Nope, that's it, actually. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to pause you while I put everything back in the bin. Okay, we are a quarter of the way through. Moving right along. All right, next up, let's see. There's some kits that I haven't started yet. So if you see me just toss something aside, it's because I haven't actually started it yet. All right, this is my Butterfly Girl. This is a collab from New Craft Day. And this picture doesn't do it justice. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't send me another picture. I guess it's not too bad. This is my Butterfly Girl. I stitched a Stitch With Me, and I only stitched like a couple, maybe 30 stitches after that Stitch With Me, so I haven't gone very far at all. Here is her pupil, and then I did a couple other, couple other colors on there too. But yeah, not a ton done on this one. This one is going to be a main whip though, so I will get more done on her soon. Also 11 count, and this is a 40 by 60. Excuse me. Next up, we have a Heaven Earth Designs. This one I call my Tornado Girl, and I actually haven't worked on this in a little bit either. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful, but I haven't gotten her out. I'm not sure if it's because I'm stuck on background and I just don't really like how the background is looking right now, because the background in the pattern is more like purplish blues this is like gray and blue and black, so I thought that was kind of weird, but I think once I get out of the background, I just need to keep chugging along on the background, scooting over, and then going down so I can find her, and then I think I'll be a lot happier. But with most of the Heavener designs, you are stitching background for a long time, and then eventually you'll get out of it. You just have to get there. So this is Tornado Girl, stitched on 28 count Zweigart, even weave, an oatmeal color, 2/1 tent. Oh, it's not gonna focus, is it? Come on, having a hard time. Yeah, it's because it kind of sees me in the background too, but there we go. And I have this in my little rose bag here. All right, next up we have, dun, dun, dun. This is the Little Dragons by SHEENA PIKE. I have this one as the pink. Ooh, thought I was going to sneeze for a second. This is a pinkish purple color dragon for my daughter. I have not gotten very far on this at all. I just recently restarted it, so that is as far as I've gotten. My focus apparently just wants to focus on my hands and not like the actual important stuff. But this is stitched 28 count on like a sky blue, 28 count 2/1 tent. And this one I'm starting in the middle. This is my very first project starting in the middle, so we'll see how that goes. Next up we have Poison Garden by MARTA DAHLIG. This is a Heavener design, and I believe I started this March 18th of 2021. So I hand dyed this piece of fabric. This is a 22 count Hardanger. Hand dyed it myself because I wanted the cool blues of the fabric to kind of show around it for framing purposes. I'm not going to wrap it around. I'm just going to kind of use the fabric as the board, so to speak. But haven't gotten too far in her, but definitely gotten the first page done and working on the second. And I'm loving it so far. I just for some reason put it down. I think because right now all I'm doing is all 939 and 310, so it gets a little boring. But the details of that flower is absolutely beautiful. And I have gotten a tiny bit more done over here because I wanted to see what the red of her hair looked like on this blue. And let me tell you, it is gorgeous. So it will definitely be a very beautiful, elegant pattern. And I will definitely be hanging this up in my room. This will definitely get some love this year. Actually, probably soon. And I have this in my kitty cat bag. Rainbow kitty cats. Okay, next up, what do we have? All right. This is BECHET-GRIFFITH. Is her first name Jasmine? I can't remember. BECHET-GRIFFITH, that's what I remember. This is my dragon girl, is what I call her. I was stitching this for Ing's Stitch. She was doing a Sal Fit to Stitch 2021 Sal, I believe is the hashtag. I was stitching this and then I got off the bandwagon because I got really tired of this pattern because it's all black to start. You gotta work through all the black right here and then the pattern kind of gets started. So I am a stitcher that if I don't see progress appearing on the pattern, I lose interest fairly quickly. So it's just one thing that I need to kind of get out and do a string at a time kind of thing. And I'll attempt to do that the best I can. This is stitched on 18 count Aida, and it's 3/110 stitch. So yeah, not too shabby. Working on it. And also in one of my book bags. All right, this one is In This Moment. I started this October 26th of 2020. This is stitched on 22 count. Jeremiah Kettner, Heaven Designs pattern. 2/110 on 22 count. So I've gotten the first page done on this one, working on the second. Last time I pulled this out, I just started kind of filling in some of the missing holes. I absolutely love how the background colors blend together, but there is a fair bit of blending in here. So again, it gets kind of boring doing the same thing, but I'm so close. I got one more page, and at the bottom of that page will be the start of her head. So this one, I mean, I'd love to make a goal of getting to the top of her head by the end of the year, but I don't think that's probably doable. But I will do my best to just kind of slowly get it out and stitch as much as I can on it. I just have too many. We all know that. We all know I have too many, but you know what? The second you see a beautiful pattern, it's like, I am a collector of patterns and whips. That's my thing. Not cars, not anything else. I'm a collector of cross-stitch patterns. That's what I've decided. And honestly, it's not that bad of a hobby. It's not too expensive. All right, this next one is Heaven Designs from ADELE SESSLER. This is Mini Beloved, and I started this February of 2020. This is stitched on 28 count of blue colored fabric, and I was stitching this one strand full cross, but I converted it to be 2 strand tent stitch, and I started that conversion in his hair. So basically, once I got to over here, I was like, nope. And once I got down to here, I was like, nope. That's when I started really learning about tent or half stitch, whatever you want to call it. That's when I really started learning about it. So there we go. Oh, it's like right in his eyeball. That's rude. That's what my son would say. That's rude. But there we go. So last time I picked this up, I started working on outlining his chin, and I'm starting to work on the grays outlining her face as well. So I do a strand of black and then I continue outlining. So this is very beautiful. It's still one of my favorite ones. It's just so monogamous. Oh, it's just so tiring working on only a couple colors. But I mean, I know this one's my mom's favorite. Yeah. I need to get it out. Again, I need to get everything out. You're going to hear that a lot. I'm halfway done, and I've already said it a million times. Okay, this one is my Watercolor Girl, is what I call her. I got this from Tapestry Market. It's 11 count stamped kit, and this is what she will look like. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I haven't gotten too far on her. Far enough, but not far enough, I guess. Okay, so what I did with her when I first started is I started her face. That's like a rule. Started her face and started her bangs most recently, but then I just recently this summer switched up here and started working on the background. So I'm gonna work a couple columns, scoot over. Column, scoot over, and I'll do that all the way down the pattern. This is all of her. So again, not very far, but I will be continuing her. She's beautiful, and I have another one in her kit as well. as like part of the series. Next one is one of my favorites. I call her Book Girl. This, I can't remember the artist's name right now. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm sure many of you will know who it is. But all of my Heaven Art designs, I will link all the information down below with the artist name and everything. I think that would be easier. Whereas all my stamp kits, I'm showing you guys the pictures. So, but this is I call my Book Girl. I got half of the ghost's face down here in the clouds. I got all the castle. Excuse me, lots of talking. Whew. I need some coffee. Coffee. I got all all of this castle done right here. I started her doing diagonal by block. I decided I wasn't liking that, and so I started basically just stitching in all of the hanging threads. And then I recently realized that I really love working in parked threads. It's very satisfying to be like, I finished a thread. And it's great because not only can you just kind of work in the threads and feel like you got something accomplished, but then I don't have to go digging through my DMC stash every time I want to work on a thread, which is really nice. So you can tell I'm kind of working things down to the bottom of the page and then over to the second page. So I'm definitely loving her, and I'm loving working in the threads. So with my counted ones, what I've decided to do, because actually she's the one who taught me this, is that I am just working in several threads, or starting a bunch of threads, and then as soon as I get a bunch started, I will work them in and work things that way for 90% of my stamped or my counted kits, because I really don't like digging through my DMC stash every 2 seconds. I don't feel like I get anything accomplished at that point. A couple more in the spin, and then we can go ahead and switch. Who's this one? Oh, this is my warrior. All right, here's what she will look like in her glory. She is beautiful. I've gotten a fair bit done on her, but I haven't done any more since I last spoke to you guys with an update. But because it's a Wip Parade, let's pull her out. All right, so here's where I've gotten to so far. So I always work on a face, or attempt to work on the face if there is one in a kit, because I always like to know what the detail is going to look like before I put in too much work. This is a 30 by 40 stamped 11 count kit, and I recently moved to the background. So I started doing some of this background. I'm going to work the background into the hair. I'm going to do the top of the head, and then I will just kind of probably work down this way and over. Looking pretty good so far though. I love her face. I love the detail on this kit. Again, you never look at it up here. Otherwise you're gonna be like, why is there red in her eyebrow? But when you look at it back here, she's beautiful and you can't see some of those things. So, very beautiful. One of my favorites for sure. And this one is my daughter's. She has claimed it, which I think is adorable. You can see my pile building up right here before I pause and put it back away. This is Lilo and Stitch. This is my very first 14 count stamped kit that I got from Tapestry Market. It is a 30 by 40. Very enjoyable to work on. I just, for some reason, haven't worked on it very much. I think it's, I have too many stamped kits. So this one, I haven't really worked on it all this year. I take that back. I think I've done like 100 stitches this year, but I haven't gotten very much at all done. And I would like to, because it's a very cute pattern. Here's the pattern right down here. Super cute. It's blurry, but you know, you get the idea. Let me show you the paper instead. See if that's any better. There we go. won't focus, but there you go. But this is the whole thing. So it will be super cute, and I will be putting some more stitches into this because I do really like it. I just, yeah, I just have so many things. I mean, it would be awesome to say I'd love to put 500 at least stitches in everything, right? But I don't know. I just don't like to put that type of pressure on myself. Okay. Next up we have Horse Fairy is what I call her. Heaven Earth Designs. I can't remember what the artist is of this one. This is stitched on 18 count Aida. 3/1/10. I recently put some stitches into her. I was stitching this cross country. Now I'm just trying to fill in some of the holes, and then I'm going to start doing that thing where I start a bunch of threads and then just work them down and across or wherever I feel like cross country. But top of the wing and some of the trees back here, I still have a fair bit of holes. So yeah, definitely have a fair bit of holes, but that's where she is right now. I'm definitely loving 18 count Aida right now. It's one of my favorites. 18 count Aida and 22 count Hardinger. Or I love and count stamped. Those are my favorites. Alright, one more for this one, and then we'll pause and put away. It's so funny when you start pulling out all of your whips and looking at everything and you just fall back in love with everything you have. Sorry for the crinkling. One. I call her Snow Girl. I haven't gotten very far. I stitched on her a little bit and then I stopped for the year. Definitely love this one, but again, not happy that it's a 50 by 70. It's from Tapestry Market, and when you order from Tapestry Market, you can't pick the size of the canvas. You purchase what you get. So, you know, not knowing very much, this was one of my very first stamped kits, not knowing a ton, I wouldn't probably purchase this again unless I can purchase it in a 30 by 40. But, you know, it is what it is. So I've only done this much, like half the circle and then this corner right here with a little bit of brown, which is the start of her hair. I haven't stitched very much on this at all, especially since it's a 50 by 70, but she is very beautiful. I just need to slowly start working on her. Here's the back. For stamp kits, it's a lot easier to show the back so you can see where you're at with the progress because there's such vibrant colors. But yeah, she's kind of been on a timeout just because she's so big for what she is, you know. There's a lot of hair and a lot of face there. But I would eventually like to get it done. And she's not really on a timeout anymore. I just need to find time to stitch on her. Also an 11 count. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause, and we're halfway through. I will go ahead and pause and grab the other 2 baskets. Oh. Okay, halfway through, here we go. Let's see how much further we can get with the sun being asleep. All right, this one is my main whip that I have and will continue to be my main whip. This is the Tree Fairy. This is my mom's that I'm stitching for her for a late Christmas. Again, I want to have her done late February, so she is my focus piece during the weekdays. Isn't she beautiful? I say it all the time, but I just love her. I love her. So here's the whole thing. She is a 40 by 50, and she is an 11 count stamped kit. And I'm stitching her in columns / rows. So what I do, I'm a little over halfway done with her actually. Let me fold her up so I could talk about this. So what I do is I stitch down to a point, normally about 3 rows down, and then I only stitch like it's like a 3x3 basically, 3x3, so 9 squares. And then I move over and I do the same thing, and then I move over, and I do that all the way across the pattern. Now, depending on what the pattern is, I either go up and down or left and right, depending on what the pattern is, because you don't want to be stuck doing all the background. And I think that's part of the reason why I have a really hard time falling off of Heaven Earth Designs patterns, is because you're always working on the background, and I'm not too comfortable starting in the middle or anywhere else, because you have to sit there and count, and if you miscount, you're in big trouble. So with stamp kits, you can move wherever you feel like moving, because the canvas is right there. So that's what I'm liking to do with her, because by the time I get done doing some background and a wing, then I get to something else, which right now is like her body, which is completely different than doing her wing. And I don't want to do wing, and then all background. So what I'm doing for her, like I said, is doing some of this, and then as soon as I finish a section, I'm actually going to start coming down and working on some of this yellow, which is 939, because if I leave it all to the end, if I leave the section to last, I'm going to be in big trouble, because I don't like doing that much bulk color. But there she is, and because she is a big piece, I'll show you the back. Yes, definitely, absolutely love how she's turning out. She was purchased off AliExpress as an 11 count stamped kit. Oh. I'm stuck. Here we go. The little thing got stuck in the basket. Okay, this one of my new starts. This is Generation 1 Pokemon. And I don't think I've stitched much more since I last spoke to you guys on this one, because it was the weekend. I was trying to get those other ones going. But here we are. This is a free pattern. This is also a SAL, if you guys would like to join. Rachel Ray started this SAL, and it's the SAL name. I put the SAL name in my previous video. What is it, everybody? Gotta catch them all. SAL. There we go. Jeez. Rachel Ray started this to raise some money for Child's Play charity. So she'll be stitching it on her Zoom channel, and I just thought it was a good, I've stared at this pattern for a while anyway, so I thought it would be kind of fun to kind of join along. So I am stitching this one on 22 count Hardanger, and I'm stitching 2/110 stitch. I also changed the background. It was supposed to be a baby blue. I decided to stitch it in like a baby green color, because I'm a forest person. I love Bulbasaur. And so, oops, sorry, bumped you. So I'll be stitching it in this baby green. There's not too much background. I think there's only like 5,000 stitches background. And then I will also be stitching any of my favorite Pokemon in this pattern. It's all of the Generation 1 Pokemon. But once I come to a favorite Pokemon, like right down here is the Fire Eevee, which is one of my favorites. I'll be stitching it holding one strand of Krennic. So I'll be holding 2 strands of the color, 1 strand of Krennic, to almost make it like a holographic shiny Pokemon. So that's what I decided I was going to do. Also one of my main ones. I think right now we're into like my main whips right now. Next up, we have a stitching shelf. This poor thing got restarted 5 times this year, but this is 5th is a charm. I am absolutely loving this one right now. This is stitched on 22 count Hardanger, 2/110 stitch. So I did have a small freak out about a couple weeks ago when I was pulling and organizing all my whips. I found the 28 count, and I started to look at the 28 count versus the 22 count. I was like, oh no, the 28 count has way, like a ton more detail. What am I doing? But remember, when you are stitching on the higher counts, like 22, 18, 14, you have to step back more to see the detail because everything is kind of blown up and more pixelated. So once you step back, things look really good compared to the 28 count. And I'm enjoying the 22 count significantly more than the 28 count. So this is it. Again, I started this diagonal doing the blocks and then realized that I wanted to stitch in all the park threads. And this one I'm working, these are all parked on the next page. Not these ones, but over here is the next page. These ones I'm just starting to stitch down because I'm basically going to be following these 3 columns all the way down to the best of my ability. So that way I can start stitching by season. So that's what I'm going to be doing. There we go. My pride and joy. AIMEE Stewart, Heaven Earth Designs, but I didn't say that. Sorry. A stitching shelf. Regular. It's the regular. Regular everything. I'm a regular kind of gal. This one is one of my new starts. This one is Moon Charmer by AIMEE Stewart. I have stared at this one for a while. Thanks, Alma. I watched her stitch this for a while and I finally decided to just go ahead and purchase the pattern. Again, stared at it for a really long time. This is my one and only counted that I have as full cross right now. It's also my one and only pattern that I have on a 16 count Ada. Never stitched on 16 count, and I am so glad that I am stitching on it because look how shiny my stitches are. Of course, it's not going to focus, and I really want it to focus right now. Come on. Anyway, the stitches are super neat, super shiny, and I absolutely love how this is turning out. So by the time you stitch this full cross, if you're used to stitching stamped kits, a mini Hade is a little bit larger than a 50 by 70 stamped kit, to give you an idea of how large it is. So there you go. Do with what you will. I haven't gotten too far in her. This is one of my main whips this year. Like I said, have stared at her forever. And one tidbit. So I'm not a big fan of stitching 939. This pattern has no 939 in it. Even though you have all that tree and all that grass down below, there's absolutely not one stitch of 939. I knew I loved this pattern. So yeah, super excited to stitch this full cross. All right, everybody, 2 more and we get to switch to the next basket. Is this one? Ooh, this is my Cottage. Oh, I love this pattern. This was purchased off of AliExpress. There's a floating needle in there. That's dangerous. This is my Cottage, one of my main whips, and also a focus piece. I want this to be a finish this year. This was my very first 30 by 40, even though I purchased it to be a 40 by 50. After all the margins, it actually ends up being a 30 by 40. It's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. So it's upside down. This is my Cottage with all of its hanging threads in glory. I'm just about to switch locations here, so you'll see. Looks like they're trying to tangle, but I will not let them. You shall not pass. There we go. Okay. So with my stamp kits, what I do is I stitch a section and then scoot over. I'm almost done with this section. So you can see I've parked a lot of threads over here. But once I get to the section, it's going to be a breeze with all these extra threads. So yeah, this is my Cottage. I wish I could get it to focus. I really just can't for some reason today. I don't know what it is. here she is in all of its glory. So started stitching the cottage's roof. Here is the bushes and the path. Absolutely love this pattern, and I'm about a third of the way done because here's the whole thing. So this is a focus piece I want to finish this year. This year, that is my goal. One and only goals that I have made for myself. So there she be. And here's the back in case anyone wanted to see. It's a nightmare, but I like it. One more and we will switch. What is this one? I don't know what this one is. I can't see it. Oh, this is my Paladin. So this is one that I'm stitching with my mom. We finished the secret present, or at least I finished mine. She's almost done with hers. And then we purchased this one. Our rule was we had to purchase something with a person in it or start working on something with a person. You don't have to purchase anything. And this is who I chose. So she's like a little Paladin. She's got blue and red, one in each hand, fire and ice, which is what I love about her. So she is also a focus piece this year because I want to finish this one by July with my mom. 30 by 40. We just started her November 9th. So haven't gone too far on her. She will take over as my main focus piece as soon as I finish the tree fairy for my mom. Also purchased from AliExpress. Most of my stamp kits are. All right, we have one more basket to get through, so let's go ahead and pause here. I'll get a drink of coffee. You get a drink of coffee or water or tea or whatever you're drinking, and we will return in just a second. Okay, guys, last part of the video. We got the last basket. Here we go. Okay, we have, see, this is my custom Harry Potter kit that I'm working on with my husband. It's backwards, I know, and such a hard picture because these pictures, the cover pictures, don't do anything, but I'd rather be at Hogwarts, and then right here is like a picture of the flying car, and these are all like rainbow colors, so pastel rainbow colors. So there's that, and no progress since I last showed this on the video because I'm stitching this with my husband. But I'm slowly stitching a little bit by myself as well, but very small amounts because my husband's pattern is a 30 by 40. Yeah, and this is a 40 by 60, I think. This is with margins, so remember that. So that's just what I've gotten done so far. And again, this is huge, and it's also 14 count as well. So this is a 14 count stamped custom kit. So it is very large, so me working on small amounts is not going to be a big deal. I won't surpass my husband or anything. So this is 192 stitches by 358 stitches. So it's almost a mini Haid as far as size is concerned. So there we go. Definitely one of my favorites. I mean, it better be. It's a custom kit, right? So there's that. Next up, we have a new start. This one was my collab with VIP Cross Stitch, and I'm not even gonna take it out because I mean it's just I just started it with you guys and I haven't stitched on it anymore. There's a needle right there. So this is the this is my elephant. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. I can't say enough about this pattern. This will take over as soon as I get done doing my little wizard. I'll stick this one in So yeah, that's all I've gotten done so far, but I'm hoping that the wizard won't take me very long to stitch, and then I can go ahead and get this one going. So where'd that needle go? Oh no, did I lose that? I lost, oh there it is. I was like, I lost the needle! Man down, man down! Alright, next up we have watercolor trees. This one was claimed by my daughter. It is a stamped kit. Oh, that was Harry Potter was from AliExpress. And yeah, Harry Potter was AliExpress. This one is AliExpress as well. It's the watercolor trees. Again, this photo doesn't do it justice. It's a lot of very bright, vivid blues and purples, as you can tell by my progress I'm about to show you. I'll only take part of it out of the frame because I was stitching on this the other day. See, bright purples and blues. So there's that. This is a 40 by 50 purchase from AliExpress. So there's like the picture. Yeah, so it is a fairly large one, claimed by my daughter. She recently told me that she wants me to stitch on this one over Warrior Girl. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Well, I'm still going to continue working on Warrior Girl, but I'm just going to throw this one in here and there too. It's like, Warrior Girl is 30 by 40 and I'm making good headway on it. I don't want to just abandon it. Oops. Colors came out of there. Alright, there's that one. Next up, we have D&D Girl. So recently stitched on this one. Not a ton, but recently. I think I got 600 total stitches on it the last few days. Not since the last time I talked to you guys, but there we go. This is a BECHET-GRIFFITH pattern. I don't know why I can't remember her first name, but anyway. This is stitched on 22 count Hardanger, I think. No, this is 18. This is 18 count Ada. Right? Yeah, 18 count Ada, 3 over 1 tent. Ah, everything is falling apart. There we go. She'll be super pretty when I get down into the details. Right now, I was just working through the background stitching. Just got her jewels done in her hair. And now I'm just going to be working on matching up the skin to her eye and then finishing up her eye. That's my goal for this year. Just finishing up skin to the eye and then finishing the eye. I think that's manageable. Don't you? I think that's manageable. So I just got to making dinner. Had to come back. I had to pick up the kiddos from school. And I had to cook dinner. We had homemade beer battered fish and chips. So that was pretty tasty. Alright, next one we have, it was my Christmas start, which I haven't really worked a ton on this one, and this is the pattern I was talking about where I've only kitted part of it up, and the rest of the colors I need to get to need kitted up, and I just haven't been in the mood to kit it up, or finish kitting it up, but this is my Christmas cottage, and again, not a ton done, because I gotta kit it up. But we got the roof right here, some of the snow on the roof, and a little bit of the house, which is like the orange colors. So in order to see this one, I'll show you the back because again, there isn't much stitched on it. See, not a ton. So I kit up half of the colors and then stopped because I was like, okay, well, if I continue kitting this up, I'm going to want to work on it. And it wasn't time to work on it yet. I didn't want to start it yet until Thanksgiving. And And then once I stopped kitting it up, I was like, well, I don't feel like kitting it up anymore. So, whatever. Alright, there's that one. Next one up. Oh, that's the packaging for Tree Fairy. That's an empty package. We have Neuschwanstein Castle. I have been working a lot on this one lately. This is one of my main ones for this year. I really want to get as much done as possible. I'm not going to take it out of the hoop because I'm stitching on this one regularly and it's in a good spot. But there we go. This is 18 count Ada, stitched 3/110 stitch. I first started this one as full cross, was getting a bunch of column lines, which you can probably see in here and in here. So I switched it to cross country 3/110, and I haven't looked back since. It's been great. So from afar, this is what this one looks like. So at the bottom of this page is where the tip of the castle is. No, is it this page? This page or the next one, I can't remember. It's the next one. Right at the beginning of the next one at the bottom is the tip of the castle. So, and as soon as I hit the castle, I'll start working my pages down for some of the castle to get out of the background because the background's getting kind of old. But yeah, I am really loving the 3/110. So if you look very closely at this, you can see the fabric come through a little bit. I don't know if I can get out of the way enough. But again, when you pull far away, you can't tell. So I'm totally I'm happy with the coverage for 3/1 18 count Ada, and this is actually my favorite Ada. It's like the oatmeal Zweigart, and you can get it. I get it from Hobby Lobby. I think it's the Artisy brand. I really love the 18 count. It's very light feeling and not like a heavy fabric. And I just really love that Ada. So there's that. And I think we only have one more, everybody. Is that it? Yeah. We've hit the jackpot. Last one. I will be having a couple of more starts here in the next couple days. But I'm waiting for them in the mail. They've been shipping forever. All right, I will pull this sucker out and then we can discuss it. This is my treasure hunt bookshelf. I just switched it to be in a very large frame so it can just kind of stay put and I can work on it whenever I feel like it. So, treasure hunt bookshelf, which is not right side. There we go. This is 22 count Hardinger. I'm stitching 2/110 stitch. At first I was stitching the entire shelf. Now I'm stitching by page for the entire shelf. So instead of stitching all of this area and getting totally overwhelmed, I'm stitching the first page, the second page, and then I'll stitch this last like 3/4 of this page, this other page right here to finish off the shelf, and I'm moving this way. So, gosh, the light doesn't really do it justice. There is a tiny bit of see-through, but not a lot. The light definitely makes it, the light makes it look a little worse than the see-through actually really is, but that's okay. So I was stitching this one all over the place and I was getting overwhelmed with the amount of holes I had all over the place. So I just slowly started filling in the holes and weaving in all my ends. My parked threads. So these ones are parked down into this page right here, and all of this page is almost completely done. The only thing I have left in this page is just this book right here. Other than that, I have everything parked over to the next page, which I will continue to work the threads, and I'll work them down or across, whichever is closer. But again, I like having a bunch of parked threads ready to go, so that way I'm not having to dig into my stash when I am ready to stitch it. But I absolutely love this one. I love the artwork of this treasure hunt bookshelf. We got the sparkly clouds up here. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if that's you know, focused or not, but it's a little bit sparkly right there from the acrylic. Yeah, absolutely love this. So that's it for all of my whips. Let's go ahead and talk really fast about my 2022 plans. So at the end of 2021, starting in October, oh no, I need to insert my secret present. Drumroll please. My secret present was a castle. No, castle. Jeez, I have NOCTURNE on my mind. It was a mountain. I stitched an 11 count stamped kit from AliExpress. It was a mountain, and my mom is stitching the exact same thing for me. Coincidence. It was a total coincidence. But it ended up being kind of like a running joke. And I gave that to my dad and my mom and or stepmom. And they absolutely loved it. They said it looked like a picture and didn't realize that I had stitched it. They thought I was joking. I was like, no, it's a cross stitch. I stitched it for you. And I'll go ahead and insert the picture at the very end of this video, I think. No, I'll insert it right here. Why not? It turned out really good. I ended up framing it by myself, cutting all of the board by myself, and my daughter picked out the color for the backing board. So it did turn out really good. I'm super impressed with it. So that was my secret present, and I will go ahead and announce that in my next Flosstube update as well. So just FYI, since this is like the end of the video. Okay, 2021. At the end of 2021, I decided I was going to be having like 10 to 12 main whips, and those were the ones I was going to work on, with three out of those 12 like major projects. So the Tree Fairy for my mom, the Cottage, and the Paladin are all major whips that I basically have to touch every single week. That being said, I have left the weekend completely open, so I have 2 full days to work on whatever the heck I want. So those are my plans, and I'm continuing those plans through 2022. It's been working really good, and I'm seeing a lot of good progress. I also have a no purchase rule after my birthday, which is just in a few days. So after my birthday, I'm not allowed to purchase anything until after July. I will, I think, if I'm doing really good, try and extend that to the end of the year as well. But right now the goal is at least until July, no new purchases. I can have new starts because I have things that are still pending to be shipped, but no new purchases. I have enough. I think that I counted like 49 whips or something. So those are my plans. I think I will go ahead and update what those whips are in my next Flosstube video, because this video is already super long as it is. So if you guys want to see what those projects are, send me a direct message on Instagram, or you can wait until my next Flosstube update, where I will also show the castle and stuff as well, and show you guys all of the updates. So I hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me during this really long whip update parade video, and I hope you all have a great, happy stitching day. Bye!